Hello everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're well. The video is a bit of a mix today, but you are going to see me clear out my downstairs cupboard. And I didn't need to take absolutely everything out, because when I started kind of taking the bulk, which was just kind of in the way and in a muddle where I knew my slipper was hiding, actually all the other things around it were kind of okay from when I tidied it last time. But the good news is I got rid of a couple of pairs of shoes, some split plastic bags, my record player, some Star Wars figures and some other things that just randomly were sitting in the cupboard because I felt unable to get rid of them or move things on. But what I realised was that actually they were causing my life to be harder and more complicated, because every single time I'm having to pick up other people's shoes and slippers and put them away because they don't want to put them away because they can't then find them. And for myself, if I put my things away, I was just throwing them in the cupboards and then unable to find them when I then left for the day, I went out. So really good job done. So I'm pleased about that. So as I'm now recording this voiceover, I'm actually sitting in the car and waiting for my daughter from the school run. So I've been in the office today. I had some training and some different bits that I needed to do in the office, which was fine. So I took my lunch this morning, did the school run, then took my lunch from home and then went into the office. And it was quite nice just to catch up with some people face to face who I don't see very often. Yesterday I had guides and it was hilarious, really. We did some sort of different games that we needed to do in order for a couple of girls to get some special badges. But then we got the parachute out. And what I love with this is the girls that start thinking that they're too old, too grown up for certain things, how keen they are to get involved, and laughing and giggling. And we put loads of plastic balls on top of the parachute. And that I was telling them, right, you see if you can get rid of all the balls in 6 seconds. They're going up and down, up and down. Then we played cat and mouse. So it was fun. And we did fruit salad. So they had a good time. I afterwards felt like I needed to sit down for a bit. But I came home and I worked. And my husband did say, you seem to be doing a lot of hours at the moment. Yeah, I do. I don't know why this is. At the moment, I feel like even though now my hours are less than what they were some weeks, I still feel like I end up having to do quite a lot in the evenings. But I'm going to get up a bit earlier tomorrow and try to do some in the morning and then go to bed at a sensible time. So you can see here, my understairs cupboard. I'm taking things out and trying to organise things a little bit. I've just remembered there's also a pair of shoes that I need to ask my daughter to try on. I think I can get rid of them as well. The reason why I couldn't get rid of the record player was I do have a record player, but this particular one I actually got given as a sort of a prize at work. Now this is probably, I don't know, about 20 years ago. I got a voucher for, I'd done particularly well with something. And I got a £100 voucher to spend in John Lewis, and I treated myself to a record player. But since then, I've got another one, which is it's a record player, a cassette, a CD, all in one. And I know lots of people listen to music online, and I do as well. But I love my records, and I like to get them out. And I've still got CDs that I listen to every so often. And my new one also has the radio, and we always play the radio for like Sunday dinner, roast dinner time. So I kind of thought, well, actually, why am I hanging on to this? This is silly. I'm going to get rid of it. The only thing that I worry about is the fact the charity shop will probably just put it straight in the bin. So then I think, should I take it out of the charity shop bag and should I advertise it for free on Facebook? Because somebody might want it for parts. And then I could stop it from going into landfill. You see all the thought that goes into things. I'm sure some people just get stuff and just put it in the rubbish bin. For me, I think about 100 other things before I make any sort of decision. Also discovered that I've got loads of shopping bags under there. There I found some really lovely sandals, that my daughter's first pair of sandals that she got probably 18 months ago, 2 years ago. And she wore them twice and really didn't like the feel of them, didn't want to wear them. And she never wore them. So I said to her, that's the last time that I sort of buy a really decent pair of sandals when you're not really going to wear them much. I've also got quite a lot of handbags, a lot of tote bags. So it's my plan to make sure that I always have a tote bag in my handbag or my work bag. I don't buy plastic bags anyway, but I thought I can just make sure I'm using the bags. Then when they wear out, I can put them in the bin and I'll have other bags that are spare. Also, that big blue bag there you can see in the picture, that was the one that was all full of lots of different odds and ends. So there's no need for that to be underneath the stairs because that was stopping me from getting to other things. So that's good that I've got taken that out, and I might use that in the garden when my brown bin's full. I thought I could use that. So there's a few other bad things in there that I found. So I found some going out shoes and my dance shoes when I used to do ballroom dancing. Don't do ballroom dancing anymore, but the shoes are lovely and I do wear them like if I'm going out like with a nice dress. But there was one pair which were a bit past it, so they were the ones which I've got rid of. They're all handmade and the work that goes into them, they're really lovely. I used to love wearing them when I used to go dancing. They've got like a suede sort of soft bottom so you can slide on the floor. So I was really pleased at how much I managed to get done in quite a short period of time with sorting this out. I also found that my daughter had got 3 pairs of slippers and also a tiny pair which are like clogs, which I haven't got rid of yet. I might get rid of those because they don't fit her anymore, but they're so cute. Also got my fly shoes, which were like buried underneath everything, so that was good. I can wear them for winter. I found a pair of trainers for my husband, 2 pairs of trainers that I think he'd forgotten about, and 2 pairs of brogues, which I think he'd forgotten about. So I brought them out to the front so he can start wearing those. So I wanted to do an update on the fact that you've all raised so much money. So you know, quite a few weeks ago I said that I was going to be donating any money that I make from my charity for August and September. Sorry, any money that I make from my channel to go to charity, Natasha's Allergy Research Foundation. I know some of you have even donated directly because I mentioned it, so massive thank you. But for any of you that have watched one of my video, know that you have contributed to the money we've raised. And I'm pleased to announce that September was double the amount of money for August. So I'm so well blown away by it, really. The fact that you've all got behind me and supported me in this. Watched my videos a bit longer, watched old videos, commented on old videos. I can't thank you enough. I'm waiting for YouTube to do its thing because it sort of runs about 2 days late. But right at the end, I'll show the graph where you can see how much the graph shows it was for like July and August. And then you can see like September is double the amount. So really, really massive thank you to you all. So you can see here, there's a Star Wars toys there, and there's a couple of books. There were also some tennis balls, and I thought, oh well, maybe my mum's dog might like playing with those. So I'm just trying to be strict in terms of the things that actually belong in the understairs cupboard. Now, one person did recommend about doing some sort of shelf arrangement, like maybe on runners, so I could pull it out. That's an idea, because the top section is quite wasted. So I could do that on runners and open it up and put maybe just like slippers there or something. So that's quite a good idea. They said about getting a carpenter in. I mean, the carpenter that I had do this was extremely talented. He actually, the bit on the right hand side, that can all come out. It's all slotted in very neatly and nicely there, but I can just easily take that out if I just unhook the piece of wood at the back. And then he did it all so it was exactly in line with the pieces of wood as you go up the stairs. So very, very clever man. I'm sure would have been able to put a drawer on had I thought of it. Okay, so I'm now going to go through some of your comments. So first of all, Carrie Rawson says, "Hi Emma, my word, I'd love to come and give you a hand sorting your clothes, your understairs cupboard. You could get a clear box and have one each for shoes." That's what I've done. It makes finding shoes or slippers much easier. Lol. Yeah, I think that's quite a good point about the box. I could get a tall box, which for shoes that I don't use very often, so like certain trainers, snow boots, spare slippers that my daughter has, going out shoes, couldn't I? And then for other things that I use regularly, I could have them in a different box. Karen says Guy Fawkes Day for your sale. Now, who knows about Guy Fawkes? Is it just the British that mark Guy Fawkes? That's what I'm interested in. So I think Karen was implying that I was going to have a big bonfire with them all. I like Guy Fawkes, and actually every year we do have fireworks and sparklers, and we do mark Guy Fawkes night, and I used to have a big bonfire and in the back garden. I didn't for the last couple of years. We're getting a little bit so that Halloween is taking over from the kind of Guy Fawkes and bonfire tradition, which is a bit of a shame. Of course, Halloween is originally from Great Britain, but not too keen on what I call plastic Halloween. Okay, Esther says, can you get rid of the small bookcase in your hallway? You could use that wall space for hooks for seasonal items you're using right now, or hooks on the inside of the door to the closet. Keep going slowly, but surely you are making progress. Thank you, Esther. A couple of thoughts there. You have given me an idea to put some hooks on the back of the understairs cupboard. That'd be a good idea, couldn't it? We could have 3 hooks. We could have 3 bags, and each bag could have our slippers in. Then it would be very easy to find our slippers. I like that idea. In terms of getting rid of the small bookcase, I'm not going to get rid of the small bookcase because that was bought for me for a wedding anniversary many years ago, and I really, really like that. It used to have like ornaments in, and I'm not going to get rid of those books. They're all my travel books. So we love travelling, we love our holidays, as you know, and I do go back to those books quite regularly and have a little look through maps and look at places where we've been and also places where we want to go. And it's kind of, where would I put all those books if I get rid of the bookcase? But I love the idea about the hooks. In terms of the closet, I think you're probably talking about my pantry, because I don't have a closet. There are hooks already on the inside of that door, about 10, and they're fully laden with coats, which I hear you all shouting and saying, get rid of some. Yes, I'm going to do the pantry very soon. Michelle Perrier 7404. I'm sorry, Michelle, if I pronounce your surname wrong. Michelle says, you just have too much stuff and little pieces of furniture. I used to spend endless hours cleaning every week until I decluttered 70% of my family's things. I bet I'd get a lot of views if I decluttered 50% of my house, or 70% of my house. I could empty everything out onto my front garden. I quite like the idea of that. I could set a drone, my husband's drone, and we could empty the house, a bit like what Stacey Solomon does, and then we could decide what was going to be put back. There's an idea. Most of us don't want to admit we have a problem with decluttering. My mum was like you and kept putting things in the attic for later, I guess. Stuff shifting only prolongs the issues. Yes, that is very true. But I am getting stricter. So I'm being very careful what I put in the loft. Not everything. Rainey Milliman. Hello, Rainey. How are you? Rainey says, your cabbage and broccoli chopping reminded me I have a cauliflower in the refrigerator. I'm going to go wash that up and cut it up for preparation for curry tomorrow. I like to have some things done in advance so the process doesn't take as long. Very wise, Rainey. Very wise. I had cauliflower today, and do you know, I'm really not keen on cauliflower. I eat cauliflower because I feel like goes back to being a child. I'm being a good girl, eating my vegetables. I don't enjoy eating cauliflower, but I had cauliflower tonight, and I think that shows a clear message to my daughter. It's not about eating all the things that you like the taste of. Also, if forced, if I had sweet corn on my plate, I would also eat that. I really, really dislike sweet corn, and I always have. Cauliflower, I suppose, it just doesn't taste of anything, does it? So if it's on my plate, I just eat it. My husband did dinner tonight because I was, as I said, I was in the office and I drove back to go and pick my daughter up. She did maths after school, maths club. So she was a little bit later coming out. So I phoned him up and said, would he be able to start risotto? So when we came in, you could smell risotto being cooked, which is very nice. The thing with risotto is that we do it with like spinach and roasted tomatoes, but obviously there's not that much by way of vegetables. So I said, oh, should I get some broccoli? And I went to get some broccoli, but they had none. And so I got cauliflower. But then, can you believe, my husband did a lovely risotto, put it all on the plates. He said, I'm going to have to take the car to the garage now, so I'll be back in a bit. And he'd not put the spinach in. And you know me with waste, I was like, oh, what are we going to use the spinach for if the spinach has not been used for the risotto? Because that's specifically what I purchased it for. So I scooped it all back into the saucepan and added the spinach. Right, Rainey goes on to say, I had so many boxes of stuff sitting in our 3-season porch, waiting for a good time to take it to the thrift store. It nearly drove me mad, and when we finally loaded it up and hauled it away, I really kicked myself for waiting so long because it opened up so much space once it was removed. Rainey, you've reminded me. My husband's boots is still full of these bags, isn't it? He does a short day tomorrow, so I'll ask him to take them to the charity shop. It's this big thing now. I have this big thing where I dread that I'm going to go to the charity shop and then they refuse it. That's why I put it off, because I think they're going to refuse it. I can't imagine how much stuff you are going to have after you sort the hall, closet, etc. Just how many bags of stuff you have cluttering the landing. It may end up a lesson in disappointments when you're only able to sell a few things. It seems an awful time and space thief just to teach your daughter about money. I know someone mentioned pulling it out for free. That would be teaching her, giving her a heart. That would be teaching her a giving heart, and that's important too. Yeah, that's very, very true. But it's also about enjoyment, because we will love the sale. That's great fun. Although we've just got to both be careful that we don't leave the store for a bit and come back with some other things. I never forget, me and my husband had this car boot sale. I don't know when that was. I think that might have been when we bought maybe our first home. Or maybe when we were moving from our first home to this house. We had a couple of car boot sales, and the first one we made a decent amount. The second one we didn't really make much because it was sort of like the leftovers. But my husband was tending to the stall, and I said, oh, are you okay just for me to have a quick look round? This is before my daughter was born. And I had a quick look round, and I found a Quality Street tin full of Polly Pocket figures. I couldn't believe my luck. I couldn't believe my luck in a big city. I was absolutely gobsmacked. And they wanted £5 for these, like, well, there must have been about, I don't know, 100? I came back with this tin and my husband said, oh, what on earth have you bought? Like thinking, I was like, yes, but look. It was like finding a tin full of £5 notes. And then Brooke replied to Rainey and said, any time that you're not feeling ruthless, like when you're keeping your retro clear clothing, go peek in the spare room and that will motivate you. Thank you, Brooke. That's very, very true. Good points. Helen in Yorkshire. How are you, Helen? And how's Yorkshire? Helen says, could you get a carpenter to change the understairs storage to pull-out drawers? Yeah, I do think that's a very good idea. Marilyn said, please don't get discouraged. You're doing well. Thank you, Marilyn. And Holly is very supportive of this idea, and I'm gonna copy Holly. So Holly is doing a car boot in the spring. Holly says, I think a sale in the spring would be good because you'll have even more by then and hopefully get a bigger profit from it all. That's what we are doing. We have dedicated a space in the loft and piled up loads there to do a car boot in the springtime. I love that idea, Holly. Right, next comment is from Janet. You're making progress, decluttering and getting to the point that you can clean without having to worry about clutter will happen. Just take it one day at a time. When our youngest was about 6 years old, we cleaned out the closet under the stairs. It was her private space. She loved it. She's 22 years old now. She talks about that closet a lot. Lol. Aww. Especially on a bad day. She's autistic, very high functioning, has ADHD, depression and anxiety disorders. So working is tough for her, but she keeps going. You can get good shoe storage from IKEA. They're very slim and have pulled down drawer type storage. Wonder whether IKEA, I've seen a couple of things that IKEA did, and one of my videos I showed it and I thought how that could go in my haul. But I didn't want it on show. I wonder whether they have any storage that would go inside the cupboard or like hang on or attached to the back of the door or something like that. Sounds like that was very special sort of memories for your daughter, Janet. Also sounds like she does very well, given that she's got quite a lot of things going on there. I find that often people who are autistic, they also seem to sometimes have anxiety. And that's obviously, it's very closely related to ADHD, isn't it? Sounds like things are quite hard for her, but she's working. Like you said, she keeps on going. Must be hard at work, but sounds like she's doing well. Kathleen Canada says, another great video, Emma. You made me laugh out loud when you said you were walking around wearing one slipper because you couldn't find the other one. That just struck me as really funny, but then again, I have a weird sense of humour. So I then replied, the problem with the slipper. So, because the problem what I had is that actually there's a little rubber heel on that slipper. So it made me walk funny, which my daughter did think was funny. But I found it. You probably spot it on that video. I found a slipper and that made me grin ear to ear. I love slippers. There's something about slippers. I never wore slippers as a child. I walked about all through winter. And Mum and Dad used to say when I was like standing on the kitchen floor, aren't your feet cold? Aren't your feet cold? But as a child, I never minded. But now, when it gets to autumn, God, I love wearing my slippers. Brooke says, did you record your video of the closet then? By closet, do you mean the understairs cupboard? I did do, I've got obviously recording on my other video. And then I did a little clip, obviously you see it on this video, how it looks beforehand and how it looks afterwards. Now we've got Sophia Rose is new. So she said, I'm new here and I really enjoy your videos. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much, Sophia. I wish you all the best as well. And where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? Carolyn says, congratulations on hitting 2,700 subscribers. Thank you, Carolyn. I was very excited about that. I appreciate every one of you. And then we've got a B. So BBS C3D. I don't know why that doesn't come up with your name. Maybe your handle is BBS. So B is from Australia. And she says, hi Emma, thank you for your recommendation to try using a timer when starting on the decluttering journey. Having a time limit has helped. I suffer from multiple chronic conditions, so I tire very quickly. Thank you for being my decluttering body double. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. That sounds like you're doing a great job, B. That sounds like you really are. And I'm glad that the idea of using a timer helps. I think it's like with anything, if you know that you're only going to do 8 minutes on something and then stop. And certainly, if you've got various different conditions, you need to make sure you're taking proper breaks. So I'm glad about that. And then B says, I'm also a fan of Travis the band. Yay! Keep the band t-shirts and get rid of any other clothing that doesn't fit or you don't love. Okay, thank you for that, B. Yeah, there are some things that I love that I don't want to get rid of, but I do love Travis. Don't think I said before that I can remember we went to a concert. Well, that was many years before we got married. And there was a big group of us went to this concert. I think it might have been one of the V festivals, for those of you that have heard of those in the United Kingdom. and Travis were on. They were headlining the festival, and we then needed to start thinking about going back to our car, I guess. We were about to leave, and we wanted to leave before it got crazy with everyone leaving at the same time, and then it taken absolutely ages to kind of get out of the car park. And I can remember as we left the crowd, Travis started singing, I think it was a Britney Spears song that he completely did his own spin to, and it was fantastic. And I looked back, and it was before people had mobile phones with, torches on, and people had got lighters, and they were all holding them up in the crowd. It was such such a magical moment, hearing them sing, and the crowd just completely captivated. Incredible. So you can see that I'm trying to do some sorting of the bedroom on that last bit of video, and I made a decision a while ago that I was not going to take any washing off my husband's chair. So I wash anything if it's in the basket. That's all I'm asking everybody, to put dirty washing in the basket. Now, I'd noticed a couple of his pairs of shorts, they'd got a bit of a hole in, and I said to him, I'm going to repair them. And as I looked at all these, he's got like 5 pairs of shorts, all the same colour, and 2 of them have got holes on, and one of the pairs with holes has got a big grease mark on. So I've said to him, I'm going to send these to rags. It seems silly to keep them. And then there were loads of other things. I swear there were 2 pairs of trousers from last winter. So that's why my washing pile has got so big. And actually, I've been doing washing quite regularly, and the basket was completely empty, and I just now went to it and it's completely full. So I imagine that there was lots on the chair that has all just now been put into the washing, which I'm not that pleased about, given I've been trying to get everything dried on the radiators. But on the plus side of it, I've decided that loads of it's going to the rags. So 2 pairs of shorts, there's a pair of, he's got a few like tracksuit bottoms, there's 1 pair which are like, they fit like some, those the men that wear the tight leg trousers. I'm not that keen on them. He's got a pair like that, but they're really like ruffled. So I thought, well, they can go to rags as well. And so you'll see the big pile there of the washing in my kitchen. So that's going to keep me busy. So thank you to all of you that have watched this video. Thank you all of you for your support, and for all of you that have raised the money for the charity. Fantastic. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And don't forget, when I get to 3,000 subscribers, for those of you that are interested in being in with a chance to get a macrame hanger, please comment in the comments box, and I will choose somebody. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!